Welcome back to Future Vision Talks. If you're like most people watching this, you've felt the ground shifting beneath your feet at work. You've seen the headlines about layoffs at tech giants, heard the warnings about AI, and maybe you've even had that quiet, unsettling thought, will my job be next? That feeling, that anxiety isn't just in your head. It's the logical response to one of the most rapid, fundamental transformations the world of work has ever seen. But here's what the panic headlines miss. This isn't just a story of loss. It's a story of profound, turbulent, incredible change. And within that change lies your greatest opportunity, if you know where to look and how to prepare. Today, we're going to move beyond the fear and the fuzzy predictions. We're going to look at the hard data, the real trends shaping 2026, and build a clear, actionable plan for not just surviving, but truly thriving in the AI era. Let's start by understanding the true scale of what we're facing. The transformation is global and structural. According to the World Economic Forum's authoritative Future of Jobs report, by 2030, we're looking at the creation of 170 million new jobs, but also the displacement of 92 million others. That's a net positive, yes, but it masks a massive churn. 22% of all current jobs will be transformed in some way. For the individual worker, this isn't an abstract statistic. It means that, on average, 39% of the skills you use today could be transformed or become outdated in just the next 5 years. This is the reality of what economists call skill instability, and it's the engine behind the anxiety we all feel. We see it in the job market's conflicting signals. In the tech sector, for instance, computer and IT occupations are projected to grow much faster than the average for all jobs, with hundreds of thousands of openings expected annually. Yet, at the same time, tech job postings have seen a sharp decline from their pandemic peaks, and companies are conducting what feels like a continuous series of rolling smaller layoffs. This isn't a contradiction, it's a recalibration. Companies aren't just cutting jobs, they are ruthlessly reevaluating every role against a new standard. What can be automated, what must be elevated, and what human capabilities have become more valuable than ever before. This recalibration is creating a hidden crisis in the workplace, one that goes far beyond spreadsheets and job descriptions. It's a crisis of emotion and trust. Glassdoor's 2026 Work-Life Trends report paints a stark picture of a growing disconnect between employees and leadership, marked by rising feelings of being misaligned and distrust. The shift from rare mass layoffs to frequent, smaller micro layoffs has created what the report calls cultures of anxiety, insecurity, and resentment. Employees are performing their jobs while feeling fundamentally unsafe. And this emotional dysregulation, this state of constant low-grade fight or flight, has tangible consequences. It clouds thinking, fuels procrastination, and makes creative, strategic work nearly impossible. At the same time, a trust deficit is emerging from our very use of AI. As professionals use tools like ChatGPT to work faster, they are simultaneously grappling with the quality nightmares and hallucinations these tools can produce, creating a constant, low-level credibility crisis. So the first, most foundational skill for 2026 isn't technical. It's the ability to manage your internal state under this relentless external pressure. Emotional regulation isn't a soft skill anymore. In a chaotic environment, it's the bedrock career skill that allows you to think clearly, adapt quickly, and lead effectively when everything feels unstable. This brings us to the central, urgent question. Which jobs are actually at risk? The answer is more nuanced than robots are coming for white-collar work. AI is not killing entire professions overnight. Instead, it is systematically disaggregating them. It is making the shallow, repetitive, and purely functional parts of every job incredibly cheap to automate. Think of the financial advisor who simply picks mutual funds from a standard list, the lawyer who only rewrites contract templates, or the customer support agent who answers the same 5 questions from a script. These are the tasks and, by extension, the versions of these roles that are becoming obsolete. Research confirms this pattern, showing that clerical and secretarial roles, including data entry clerks and administrative assistants, are expected to see some of the largest declines. But the core of these professions is not disappearing. It's being forced to evolve. The value is shifting dramatically toward the deeper, more human aspects of the work. The financial advisor who secures access to exclusive off-market investment opportunities. The lawyer who navigates complex human negotiations and builds unshakable client trust. The customer success manager who transforms from a ticket solver into a strategic relationship orchestrator. These professionals are not just surviving, they are commanding greater premiums. In fact, we are witnessing the birth of entirely new categories of work that didn't exist 5 years ago. These are the roles that manage the new infrastructure and the novel problems created by AI itself. For example, as the computational cost of running AI models explodes, creating what one analysis calls the largest infrastructure build in human history, new specialties are emerging. Roles like GPU cost tuning specialists, who optimize massive AI training runs to save millions of dollars, are commanding fees of $250 an hour or more. Similarly, vector database engineers, who build the systems that allow AI to remember and retrieve information accurately, are in such short supply that demand outstrips availability 4 to 1. Then there are the roles born from the trust deficit, like AI auditors and red-team psychologists, who are hired to systematically find biases in models or craft adversarial attacks to test their security. We're also seeing the rise of agent fleet orchestrators, who manage teams of autonomous AI agents, and context supply chain managers, who ensure the information feeding corporate AI systems is accurate and relevant. Even sustainability is creating new tech jobs, such as carbon-aware schedulers, who align AI compute tasks with times of low carbon intensity on the power grid. This is the critical reframe. The future isn't about humans versus machines. It's about humans plus machines, with a whole new ecosystem of jobs emerging at the intersection. So, how do you position yourself in this new ecosystem? It begins with a fundamental shift in how you think about your value. For decades, the paradigm was skills for life. You learned a trade or a profession, and that was your identity. That model is shattered. We are now in the era of learning for life. The most in-demand individuals will be what researchers call human acts, or polymaths. People who combine deep AI fluency with the quintessentially human abilities that machines cannot replicate: empathy, creative judgment, ethical reasoning, and inspirational leadership. The World Economic Forum's data is clear. While AI and big data skills are the fastest growing, the core skills employers value most are analytical thinking, resilience, flexibility, agility, and leadership. This isn't an either-or choice. The winners will be those who fuse these domains. Let's break down this hybrid skill set. On the technical side, digital fluency is the new literacy. This goes beyond knowing how to use a specific software. It means understanding how technology shapes business processes and being agile enough to flow from one system to the next. Within this, several competencies are non-negotiable. Data analysis and literacy is paramount, as the ability to interpret information, spot patterns, and tell a story with data is central to decision-making in every field. AI collaboration is just as critical. This isn't about becoming a machine learning engineer, though that's a booming field, but about mastering what is now called prompt engineering, the art of effectively instructing AI tools, and, more importantly, developing the judgment to critically evaluate and refine their outputs. Furthermore, as our world becomes more connected and digital, cybersecurity awareness is shifting from an IT-specific skill to a general professional responsibility, with leaders needed to foster security-first cultures. But technical prowess alone is a dead end if it isn't guided and amplified by human-centric skills. This is where your irreplaceable value lies. Creative and analytical thinking tops the list. AI can generate content and analyze datasets, but it cannot frame a novel problem, question the underlying assumptions, or connect disparate ideas to invent a truly original solution. Emotional intelligence, the ability to read a room, manage your own reactions, motivate a team, and provide genuine empathy, is what builds the trust and psychological safety that pure efficiency destroys. Adaptability and learning agility are the meta skills that bind everything together. With the half-life of technical skills shrinking to as little as 2.5 years, your commitment to continuous, self-directed learning is your primary career safety net. Finally, communication remains supreme. The professional who can translate complex AI-driven insights into a compelling narrative for a non-technical executive or a worried customer is delivering immense value. Now, how do you actually build and demonstrate this hybrid skill set in a market that feels so volatile? The playbook has changed. The old currency of resumes, job titles, years of experience, and prestigious degrees is being rapidly devalued. In its place, a new currency is rising: provable skills and a visible, trusted personal brand. This is the era of skills-based hiring. Companies struggling with massive skills shortages are increasingly prioritizing what you can demonstrably do over where you learned it. They are rewriting job descriptions to focus on capabilities and outcomes, and using practical assessments, portfolios, and simulations to evaluate candidates. For you, this is liberating. It means the barrier to entry for new fields is lowering, provided you can build and showcase the right competencies. It also means that internal mobility within your current company is becoming a major strategy. Organizations are realizing it's often faster and more effective to reskill an existing employee who understands the company culture than to hire a stranger. They are creating internal skills marketplaces and dedicated pathways for employees to move from declining roles into growing ones. This is where your proactive strategy comes in. You cannot wait for your employer to train you. You must own your upskilling. A powerful way to start is by conducting a personal AI readiness audit. You can use tools like ChatGPT itself to create a personalized roadmap. Try a prompt like, "I work as your job title in your industry. Based on current AI workplace trends, what are the top 5 skills I should be developing? For each, tell me why it matters, how AI is changing demand for it, and one concrete action I can take this month to build it." This forces you to confront the gaps and creates immediate, actionable steps. Next, build your AI collaboration playbook. Dedicate 30 days to structured learning. Ask ChatGPT, "Create a 30-day learning plan for me to master AI tools in my role as your job title. Include the top 3 tools, a practical use case for each, common mistakes, and how to evaluate output quality." The goal is not just to use AI, but to use it with such fluency and judgment that you become the go-to person for leveraging it responsibly and effectively in your team. Concurrently, you must begin the work of building your personal brand. In a world where AI can generate infinite generic content, people will increasingly seek connection with and trust in other people. Your personal brand is your professional reputation, made visible. You don't need millions of followers. As one entrepreneur notes, a dedicated following of 2,000 to 20,000 people who truly know what you stand for and what you're good at is an immense asset. Start by documenting your learning journey publicly. Share case studies on LinkedIn about a process you improved with an AI workflow. Write about the ethical dilemma you faced in a project and how you navigated it. The key is to showcase your hybrid value, the technical initiative, and the human judgment. Craft your 2026 career narrative. Use a prompt like, "Help me craft a career narrative that positions me as someone who has adapted to AI. I am a," your job title. Identify 3 to 5 proof points I should build. Write a LinkedIn summary, and create interview talking points about leveraging AI to drive results. Your narrative is no longer, "I have 10 years of experience in X." It's, "I have a proven ability to learn and apply new technologies like AI to solve Y-type problems, and here's the evidence." Finally, let's talk about leadership, because the skills required to guide others through this transition are evolving just as radically. The leaders who will thrive in 2026 are not just deciders, they are orchestrators and ethicists. Agentic workflow management will be crucial, as leaders will need to oversee teams of both humans and autonomous AI agents working toward long-term goals. AI ethics is no longer a niche topic, but a core leadership responsibility, requiring a commitment to deploying technology that is transparent, fair, and accountable. Data stewardship means leaders must ensure the information fueling their company's AI is both accessible and clean, free of the biases that can erode trust. Perhaps most importantly, workforce planning becomes a strategic imperative. The effective leader must constantly diagnose which tasks to automate to free up human potential and which must remain in human hands to preserve creativity, morale, and the customer experience. This all hinges on a leader's own learning agility and fundamentally their emotional intelligence, the ability to listen, empathize, and inspire during a period of profound disruption. The path forward is clear. The era of the static job is over. The age of the dynamic, adaptable, hybrid professional has begun. Your career is no longer a ladder to climb, but a portfolio of skills and experiences to continuously curate. The anxiety in the air is real, but it is not your destiny. It is a signal, a call to action. Start today. Audit one repetitive task in your work and build a simple AI automation for it. Choose one human skill, like active listening or creative brainstorming, and consciously practice it for a week. Share one small lesson you learned online. The gap between those who adapt and those who fear is widening every single day. Don't just watch the future of work arrive. Step into it, build your unique value within it, and shape it. This is your moment. Let's get to work.